Thank you, Johan. Thanks, Arjit. Now, EIS 2021, that's the hashtag where all the action is alive on this edition of the Enterprise Innovation Summit. So drop by there. We have great giveaways on the hour to our participants, and you could also visit the Yotta booth and answer a few very simple, easy questions on Yotta solutions, and you stand a chance to win an Amazon Echo, and 5 lucky winners will walk away with an Amazon voucher. So lots to win here today. Now, back to our summit. Uh, how do you fortify your hybrid workforce with future-proof data protection? That's the conversation that Muqbil Ahmar, our executive editor at Greyhead Media, will be leading, and he's joined by Adarsh Singh, service provider account manager for India at Commvault, and Sandeep Pathak, the DGM for products and services at Yotta Infrastructure. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to this technology session at the Enterprise Innovation Summit EIS 2021. I welcome all of you to this exclusive discussion organized by Dynamics CIO in association with Commvault and Yotta Infrastructure. My name is Muqbil. I'm the executive editor at dynamicscio.com and Great Media. Friends, first of all, I really wish and hope that all of you are safe and secure. These are indeed very uncertain times. Now, coming to the topic for today's discussion, it is focused on how to fortify your hybrid workforce with future-proof data protection. Now, we all understand and appreciate that data is everywhere, and in fact, it is business. Right from business processes to customer touchpoints to remote employees, massive amounts of data is being generated, processed, and consumed. Data loss or corruption can lead to business failures and monitoring. This fireside chat sheds light on the growing data centricity for enterprises, what goes into having data at your service, storage, processing, protection, backup, recovery, and all of that, along with the best practices to make your data accessible 24/7. And there couldn't have been a better time to discuss all this. For today's discussions, we have a very interesting lineup of extremely informed, knowledgeable, and insightful speakers. Hi, Adarsh and Sandeep. Now, before we begin into a systematic round of discussions, I would really like to take this opportunity to congratulate Adarsh and Sandeep for their partnership. In fact, in what can be called a master stroke, Yotta Infrastructure Solutions has recently partnered with NASDAQ-listed Commvault Systems to launch Yotta Safe. Could you please elaborate a little bit more on this, Adarsh?
Yeah, Muqbil, and thank you. Uh, from Commvault side, we're extremely excited on this engagement, what we have done with Yotta. This is a unique value proposition, what Commvault and Yotta is getting across the table, across the country actually, where we are focusing on the endpoint. And believe you me, we don't have any a coherent policy on the endpoint actually backup, which has become a forefront of the discussion of various, the CXOs, especially when people are working from home. What Commvault gets across the table is a very strong, platform, which is intelligent, data, platform. From Gartner's point of view, we have been a leader over the last actually the 10 years in succession. We provide an intelligent, the platform which helps Yotta and its, customers to protect the data on their desktops and, the laptops, and also to, protect the data from the ransomware, which is a major actually pain and the concern, for the customers.
Sandeep, your views on this?
Yeah, I agree with Abhishek, and looking at the kind the data is evolving day to day, the kind of data generating day to day. So these kind of services is really is we can say need of the hour. And Yotta, along with our data center services, like we are thriving more and more on offering almost everything as a service. And when I say everything as a service, it encompasses like infrastructure as a service, the platform as a service, and software as a service. And on the similar lines, we have deployed Yotta Safe. It is an endpoint backup as a service in partnership with Commvault. And before we get more in depth into Yotta Safe, I would like to run a quick small video which will give you what the product is about, and we can take it forward after this video. Yeah. Give me a moment to share my screen.
Wonderful and very brilliant video, very slickly done, and it really brings across the right message on how the attack surface has really increased and expanded in the wake of work from home, hybrid workforce becoming the new norm, and it's really great to have a solution like this, which really promises at a very basic level, as far as affordability is concerned, as far as democratization of technology is concerned, and how it can bring this entire thing to the entire technology stack to the masses and to the really small and medium enterprises. Now bringing Adarsh back into the discussion. So Adarsh, we understand that, of course, Commvault is a known name in data protection solutions. And with Yotta Safe, you have partnered with a young company. So, how exactly did you select Yotta?
I think that's a great, actually, the question. What we found, this market has actually opened up and post actually COVID. And what we also saw that Yota's senior, actually the management, was very focused on this space. So this was an opportunity which came up, right? With every challenge there is an opportunity, and this is an opportunity, actually the window which came up, where what we saw is a lot of customers who were in the four walls of their offices or the data center, very actually protected. Yotta wanted to go and address this across the spectrum, and just not talking of one the region of the country, but across the country per se. That strategy and the focus, we saw them taking the initiative on the same, and that's when we actually thought of having this engagement and taking this offering to all the customers, whether it's an SMB customers, enterprise, BFSI, all the customers. The second thing what we saw also was the offering what they have actually gone. The offering consists of an limited storage, which means that any user can put any amount of data, so your pricing is fixed. It's an OPEX based, actually the model, so there is no investment in terms of the capex. When we saw these investment and the strategy and the focus actually coming from the Yotta, we thought of taking this offering, taking our actually the platform, their infrastructure expertise, and providing it as the services, the model across the spectrum. The good news is that the platform or the offering is an enterprise grade, but is meant right from the SMB to medium size to banking, BFSI, and the enterprise actually the section, and it cuts across. It's a very simplified actually version of protecting your data against the deletion, data theft, or the ransomware, as was very well stated in the video.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. I was also completely shocked to see the affordability aspect of this solution, and I can really appreciate that. There were many factors which went into in favor of Yotta. Now, bringing Sandeep now into the discussions. So Sandeep, we see that moving from organizations, the focus of cyber criminals today is on homes, where a majority of the workforce continues to work, due to the lockdown restrictions, work from home, and all of that. So, what is your perspective on this?
Yeah, absolutely. This point is very important. So now, be it this pandemic or whatever could be the reason, but business models have changed, and there is a huge amount of distributed workforce, which has become a new norm. We see almost all the employees working from different corners of the country, or even in some cases, different corners of the world. So, and the another aspect is about the availability or the expansion of these mobile devices and the availability of good network. So this is added to the remote workforce, and with this, one important aspect is this has resulted into more than half of all the corporate data residing outside of the company's own network. So the network which used to be in their own control, now the data, almost more than 50-60% of data is out of company's own network. And with that proliferate, so there are so various threats, like as you rightly said, the ransomware attacks or various other threats have increased, and the threats the direction is also changed now, since everyone is working from home. So obviously the focus has changed towards working from home scenario or working from anywhere scenario. So in such scenarios, the important aspect is the protection of endpoint data. So this is actually, we have seen that earlier it is one of the most forgotten aspects, but now this has come into main foray. The content which is getting generated day to day on these laptops and desktops at employees' home is now a potential highest risk. So that needs to be protected. And with this Yotta Safe, it actually does that. So it provides a complete security to all the endpoint devices, both laptops and desktop, and it ensures the data is safeguarded from all kinds of threat. So basically, there are many features which I would like to talk about, or I'll just demonstrate it in a short while. But one of the important feature is the platform is ransomware aware. So this has got an intelligent AI capabilities, which has made it ransomware aware. And along with that, as we saw in that video clip as well, another nightmare is when everyone is working from remote location. So another issue is the worry about loss of endpoint device. What happens if my laptop is lost somewhere or it is stolen? So so this Yotta Safe, it has got a fantastic features, like it can geolocate the device. So whenever the device is connected to the internet, the end user or the admin guy of the enterprise, he will be able to trace or geolocate the device anywhere and everywhere. And the beauty of this feature is, if the laptop is recorded as a lost laptop, it will be able to remotely wipe the company's confidential data. So as I said, all organizations' confidential data or important data is stored on this endpoint device, and this data can be so if the laptop is lost or stolen, we can remotely wipe off the data and ensures that company's data doesn't fall in wrong hands. And last but not the least, or very important factor, is the user experience. So it's a complete self-service portal, which gives a very good user experience.
Excellent. Absolutely, I would agree with you that endpoint protection, is really the need of the hour as the, hybrid workforce really expands. And this was beautifully, brought out by the video where he is having dreams of his laptop getting stolen, which is in fact very true. I also have such dreams at times. Now bringing Adarsh, back into the discussion. So Adarsh, I'm coming to you for a really a basic question, which would go a long way in, helping our audience here understand the subtleties and nuances that have happened over the years. So how have, backup solutions really evolved over the years? And what are the key considerations for organizations, given the changes brought about by the pandemic?
I think that's a great actually question. So what we are seeing over the last 24 actually the months is most of the employees actually actually were in their offices, right? If you go back to that office, you have a perimeter security, a very strong security apparatus which is actually protecting your data. You really don't have to bother about whether your if as long as you're inside that the secure actually the perimeter, uh, you're fine. Now think of a situation, and I'm trying to paint a picture out here where these, let's take an example of a corporate which has 100 employees actually coming to their headquarters. Post pandemic, as we know, we all are actually working from our home. So this 100 people's home actually becomes the offices now. Now, the challenge what we are seeing is how do you provide the same kind of the protection, which is not possible to provide, and provide heavy duty security, the infrastructure at each employee's home. So the next question which comes to the point is that the data, 60% of the data, as per various analysts, says that it's lying now on employees the laptop or the endpoints, right? So it becomes extremely important that you start protecting the data at the endpoint. Now, you want the data. So it's also not actually possible to send an IT help desk to each of the employees' home and do the deployment, right? I mean, you can understand the TDS, and not to talk of the challenges of the the social actually distancing, and no company would be comfortable actually sending their IT staff going to each of the employees' home to do this. So the process has to be very, very the seamless, where one is able to the end user like you and me can just click on a link, and the backup starts taking place seamlessly, right? It's a silent actually backup taking place, so it's not even impacting the work which you are doing. The other thing what we are seeing also, we want to have a very low touch, so we don't want the end employee, who are basically the customers, to get impacted. So our platform uses AI ML, which basically helps that if I'm working on a critical application on my endpoint, let's say I am accessing an SAP HANA, an Oracle, or Exchange, or a CRM, my backup, if my bandwidth is a challenge at my home, which I'm sitting and I've taken a broadband either from, let's say, the Airtels of the world or the Geos of the world, it would automatically throttle and has the intelligence to stop the backup at that the time, so that my primary work is not getting impacted. Now, you don't want a manual intervention to happen, all this thing. This is all done by AI and the ML. Last but not the least, the ransomware, which I had spoken on that. Ransomware is a reality. The increase in the ransomware from the last year to this year has been 70%. By various resources, we have already paid about $3.5 million of the ransomware. These are the cases which are there in the media, right? Most of the folks don't want to be a case study of the ransomware attack, right? Nobody would like to be in that boat that, okay, I got the ransomware attack, and this is what. There are very few folks who do that. So we are seeing this, the chief risk officer, the CISOs, the CIOs, even the board members of the company are saying, how are we going to protect the data? It's not just the protection of the data out here, it's the protection of the credibility out here. If I, as a manufacturing, a huge, a manufacturing giant, if my data is getting hacked or is getting ransomware attacked, it's not only impacting me, it impacts my customers, it impacts my, the suppliers. So the whole supply chain also gets, impacted. And this is where the endpoint data actually protection comes into the foray. And that's been a paradigm, the shift. The offering of Yotta Safe, now just coming on to the Yotta Safe, is a SaaS offering, which basically it means that you pay what you use, right? And it's a fixed pay. I mean, Muqbil, talking of 150, bucks per month is probably having a cup of coffee in a cafe person, whether it's in Mumbai, Delhi, or Bangalore. That's just the cost. And
Absolutely.
you could upload any amount of data out there. right? I mean, they're giving the limited. So whether it's your the project data, your Office, your Excel, your actual presentation, and all this data, by the way, by the staying on the endpoint or in motion or at the Yotta safe, the data center, it's all encrypted out here. So you're also, the making sure even if actually somebody taps the wire, as we call it, to kind of sniff the data, what he gets is a garbled thing, right? So it's an end-to-end offering what we are providing out there. And I think Sandeep also, mentioned, about the remote, actually the wipe, which means that you lose your, the laptop, or it gets stolen, or it gets robbed, or you kind of, misplace it. It's possible for, Yotta to provide the services where you can remote wipe the data, because the important thing is not the laptop is important, but data is more actually, the critical. You don't want a CFO's, data, or a PM's data who's working on a very important, actually, the project to go out there. So this is an offering. It's a simple offering, having all the features of an enterprise grade, and it's actually, the seamless. So this is the change what we have seen, that customers are, actually, looking for a SaaS offering and not the capex, and that's what the Yotta Safe actually provides onto the table.
Absolutely. Very pertinent points made here by Adarsh, that, cyber incidents, hackers, and breaches actually, can impact not only that enterprise, but the entire, all the elements in that ecosystem can get badly impacted. And emerging technologies like AI, ML can go a long way in really thwarting those malicious attempts. Now, bringing Sandeep back to the discussions. So, Sandeep, let me really narrow down this discussion. And we have often come across terms like insider threat, and they have been bandied about a lot now. And it's this phenomenon is not new. Now, the important point is that this has come as a huge concern for organizations. So, would you be able to elaborate on how Yotta Safe can address this?
Yeah. So, Muqbil, as you rightly said, this insider threat is another major aspect which needs to be taken care of, or which needs to be considered. And Yotta Safe has got many features, like the entire platform security and everything is taken care of. The features are taking care of all the security aspects. The multi-factor authentication is one of the tool which helps in taking care of such kind of threats. And the geolocation which I was talking about, I'd just like to I'll just quickly showcase it to you. Just give me a moment to share my screen. So this is the dashboard which I was talking about, a very user-friendly dashboard, which gives detailed insights of all the laptops which are connected, how many users they have. All the insights are available on a single dashboard, and using this dashboard, they can have an entire summary of all the backup and restore activities. And as I said, the admin, he can track the location of each and every device laptop on this one small window. So see, I'm quickly showing over here. They can track each and every device. So all the devices, wherever it is, they can easily track, and accordingly they can take an action. So in case the laptop is stolen, or it is lost, you can just click on that particular laptop. He can go to the laptop, and he can lock the laptop, and remotely he can wipe the laptop. So again, I'll just try to quickly show it over here. This is a list of laptops. For example, I clicked on my own laptop. So here it is. I can see the laptop, and with a single click, I can just say if my laptop is lost, and that's it. The admin can remotely, I can locate my laptop, and he can remotely wipe the data. So that is the beauty of this product, which will take care of these kind of security threats.
Excellent demo, Sandeep. Now, coming to the next question, we see that the market is flooded with backup solutions. What is unique about Yotta Safe?
So we went through all the features and capabilities. Talking about all the unique features, the added value is the expertise of Commvault. So those the backend technology, the way Commvault has built the value proposition the Commvault is offering. So along with this backend player like Commvault, we are offering an added value proposition like offering unlimited backup and unlimited data transfer at just 150 rupees per endpoint device. So there are no hidden charges. As I said, the storage space as well as data transfer, everything is unlimited at just 150 rupees with the intelligent features like ransomware awareness, the various other the geo tracking, remote wipe functionalities, everything bought down at just 150 rupees per endpoint per month.
Right. Excellent, excellent, Sandeep. This really seems like a wonderful and hard to reject offer, and which technology is really coming very close to the people. Now, friends, it has been a wonderfully insightful talk. However, in the interest of time, we will have to wrap this up. Thank you all for joining us today, and I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our partners, Commvault and Yotta Infrastructure, without whose support this discussion would not have been possible. Have a great day ahead, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Muqbil. Thank you, everyone.